our very own Blu-ray, and you have a headset, so I'll just pass it on to you. And after that, I'll just quick few words. After this, we'll do a panel. We'll see how long we'll go. And basically 6 o'clock is when we end here, and 7 is when we'll go to the Lendav Taldrik. It's flying saucer in English for dinner. So anyone who wants to join is super welcome. There'll be some speakers, participants, whatnot. It's in Telliskivi Creative City, so like 10-minute walk from here or something. Yeah, so here you go. Here's Egle.
So, hi, thank you for staying. I'm here today to talk about our story. So the company name is Blu-ray, and we are University of Tartu spin-off company. And under the company name, we do custom solutions in the field of education and tourism attractions. But under the brand We Are History, we operate virtual time traveling experiences here in Estonia. So I'm the co-founder of the company, and as I have soft legs in VR, I've got to be the head of XR. So, as Jeremy said also in the morning, the world is full of stories. They are all around us. And often we are expected to believe them, even if we can't see them. And as Jeremy said, seeing is believing, but actually this fuller statement has a second part as well, and it goes that feeling is truth, and this is something what we are gaining for. So, do you recognize the bird in the picture? Dodo. Exactly. It's the dodo bird that has become an icon for the human-caused extinction. And in 1755, the Oxford Museum director thought that a stuffed dodo in their collection looked too shabby and ordered it to be thrown into a bonfire. Unfortunately, it was the last known dodo on Earth. So a co-worker passed by the fire and he tried to save what he could. And what he could save was a head and one leg. So history is full of blank spots, and everything in between is our imagination. And this is something with what we work. And here you can see the concept of our virtual time traveling experiences. In front of you is Palace. It was the summer residence of our first president, Konstantin Päts, and it was destroyed during the Second World War. So when you visit the park, you can't see the palace anymore. But the park itself is still meaningful for Estonians because of the location of the palace. And today we have 3 locations in Estonia. We started with VR Tartu 1913. In 2013, it was followed by VR Toila 1938, and the last one, the attraction in Tallinn. And with our developments, we are very precise, so we take the exact year and the exact month. So Tartu is August, Toila is July, and Tallinn is also August, and 44 is March, when the March bombing happened here in Estonia during the Second World War. And we use these locations as our test sites to get the feedback from our visitors, to know where the expectations are moving, what is working with different age groups, and so on. So let me see if it starts. Yeah. So this is VR Tallinn, 1939 on one side, and today. So all the left side of the street was destroyed during the Second World War. And as you can understand, our time traveling takes place outdoors. So we want people to feel the exact place where the story took place. So how did we start with everything? We started 6 years ago, and I think if we knew what was going to face us, we wouldn't have started, because we were two historians, and we really stepped into unknown waters with the first development. But I did my master's thesis, and I did a user survey about our Tartu MVP. And I studied lots of academic papers about VR, AR. So, and based on that, this is my flower model, what we use for our historical VR solutions. I won't go through all the petals, but as you can see, it takes parts of VR, what's important in VR, then what's important in user experience, and then what's important if we are talking about people searching for educational or historical, cultural insights. And what we know from the beginning, from my survey, is that gamers have totally different expectations than people looking for educational content. So, that the solutions are authentic is very important for us, and we do lots of historical research on that. So this is crystal chandelier from the Oro Palace, and this is a photo that we had chandelier. And during our detective work in the archives, we found out that the crystals came from Central Europe, from a factory, and we even got the brochure and the color code from it. So we are very exact with this chandelier now. But at the beginning, it was very difficult to get the bone structure and everything in place from this one photo. If we can, we use laser scanning, as you can see here with the Harju Street in Tallinn. We started placing houses from 1939 on top of the Soviet buildings that are standing on the street now, because we really wanted them to match the historic buildings in the end of the street. And in the end, we were very precise. When we started, we had a 10 centimeter off, but we could fix it during the development. So the next thing from the flower model is presence. This is from Open in Toila this summer. And the last scene ends with a fire where the palace is destroyed, and this little girl shouted to everyone in the opening day that during fire you should keep close to that floor on the way. Ease of use is other term that's very important for us, because the oldest visitor we have had was 92. And if we have 40, 50 people coming in a group at once, and most of them have first experience with VR headsets, we don't have time to teach them remotes. So we can only use hand tracking, eye tracking if it's possible, or we have to limit our expectations for the development and interaction. So these are some pictures from different locations. And this September, we reached a new record of one-day visitors when we had more than 400 pupils doing our journey in Toila. And it was a very huge logistic challenge, but also for the devices, because we have our own fleet management application to run the headsets so that they show the right scene, the right language. For example, in Tallinn, we have 9 different languages to operate. And this is our storyline. In 2019, we started with Samsung Gear VR headsets. I don't know if you know them. They're quite old. And we had only 3 degrees of freedom. To achieve 6 degrees of freedom was our big hope when we started development of Toila. For Pico 2, but unfortunately they offer 6 degrees of freedom indoors, but they failed outdoors. So we had to go back and do the first part of Toila also in 6 degrees of freedom. But Pico 2 headsets are very reliable. They are like working horses, very good ones. And now in Tallinn, we have Pico 4 Enterprise, and we have 6 degrees of freedom and interaction outdoors. It's limited only to one scene, because if you want to have interaction outdoors, you need kus on vari inglise keeles? Shadows. And you need information, and our first viewpoint, for example, is in the middle of Freedom Square. That's like a stone desert, and we are lucky the headsets working and not flashing that they lost tracking, so we couldn't do any other interaction in other places, but in the fourth one they can do. And our attractions take place all year round, and as you know, Estonian winters can get quite cold. So, we have the set, we have the bartender, but what to serve? That's a question always. So, if we go back to the beginning, and I said that history is full of blank spots, it doesn't mean that we can't go further back in the history from the 19th century when the photography was invented. We can, but then we rely on the work of others. So this is back in history about 9,000 years. It's the first human settlement, known settlement here in Estonia. It's very famous because it gave a name to a stage all around Baltic Sea. It's a Kunda stage. Formerly it was named Kunda Culture, and we didn't know that the naming has changed before we started, even if we were historians. And we were lucky because this site is very well researched, and it was very artifact rich, so we built the story around that. And also we worked with archaeologists. And then we jumped into world of physics, a little closer to Märts area, but this is a prelude to our story that comes next. It's all connected with Soviet Union closed city in Estonia called Sillamäe, and Soviet power used to dig materials from there because they hoped to produce nuclear bomb from the uranium. And this is the first testing of their bomb in 1949 in Semipalatinski. So, this was a story of Yevgeny Samyatin, book called We. And here we had much more free imagination when we normally have with our projects. But for us, it's always about finding balance, about how immersive can we be, how present can this solution be, what are visitors expecting from us. And of course, we always want to put in new knowledge about history, what's the recent information, what we have. And then, of course, always the limits of the headsets. But in the end, if we think about our solutions, then we want that the outcome is different from traditional classroom lessons if they come out to us, because we don't visit schools ourselves. And this is a totally different development, what we did for Tartu University. And it's for training teachers how to communicate with difficult parents. And it's an application for students, and in different rooms and only in virtual reality. There's a game lead who can input some notes for the students. For example, if someone has chosen the avatar of a parent and should be, according to the role play, an angry one, the game leader can say, "You aren't angry enough," or the vice versa, "You are too angry, keep it calm." And it's all broadcasted in a fourth room for the students, so they are all in different locations. At the same time, it's recorded and saved, and in the end of session, students have reflection questions, but are also saved, so they can all together compare how they found the play. And the input for the questions and roles and situations should be came from the scientist from the university. And this was developed for Meta Pro headsets, and I think we were the first ones to start for them, because Meta only had a white sheet and we had no answer for our questions, and it felt like we are inventing a bicycle over and over. So to sum up, we have been acknowledged with some awards, but if I think about our everyday situation, then it's mostly like fighting with the Rogers innovation curve, that we don't have enough innovators and we have more laggers, and we are thinking how to reach them. So this is all from me. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I have a question about the, first of all, since you're using outdoors, those Pico headsets, are you doing in AR or VR?
In VR.
So it's totally immersive, you can't see anything. So is there any problems with the people not seeing around?
No, because our guide is always with the group outdoors, and we advise them that if they are in VR, they should limit their movements, because we lift them ourselves as well, so you don't have to reach the other end of the street. Well, the only incident what we had, first one, and it happened this summer with the last development to Toila, that it was so real and present that one child was in the bar, what you saw the render as well, and he tried to sit on the chair. But it was grass all around, so he didn't get hurt.
Okay, thanks. Then I have another question about the business in this. Is this a viable business for you at the moment?
Well, at the moment it's okay, but we have money coming from other sides as well in. So if it would be from developments, so if it would be only ticket sales, then it wouldn't.
And how big of a project it is to develop something? Let's say you choose totally new destination and want to build something in there. Can you say any estimations about time and money, what it takes to be on a level that you can sell this to a group of students, for example?
With Tallinn, we spent almost 2 years. because with Tallinn we have 4 different textures. So we have 1939, then we have 1944 German occupation and winter. Then we have the scenes after bombing in 44, and we finish up with 46, it's Soviet occupation. And so, yeah, it was lots of work.
And one more question is that, do you only sell this for these groups in the location, or is it available for people from homes as well?
Yeah, right now it's only on the site, but we are looking to change the developments a little so they are more edible at home as well.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, I'll go. The Tallinn experience is really cool. I'm wondering if you're planning for some more optimistic sequel, because it really feels like a super downer in the end. Because it's like Soviet Union and that's like it basically after bombing. Yeah, the other one is if you're planning to, or is it possible for you to make something similar available internationally as well? Because in theory you could go to, you know, every town in Europe that was bombed and or some place that was very beautiful isn't anymore, like Narva, for example, and you could make like something like that there. So.
Yeah, we have started with Tallinn doing the Golden Lion Hotel vestibule, so that would be more cheerful. But right now with Tallinn we are doing a short version. So as you know, people like to read the headlines and no text, so we are doing a version for those people. Because the 2 parts altogether is an hour. So we are doing a shorter version. And with these international solutions, yeah, right now we are thinking about this Soviet nuclear bomb testing, that we will start with that.
A quick question. How long do you make one sequence? So a person puts on the headset, how long is he aimed to stay in the headset?
Well, from my survey, we started out that one viewpoint or one scene, how you want to call it, is about 3 to 5 minutes. I think the longest is 7 minutes. And then we walk from one viewpoint to another one. So those who can't bear the pass-through function, they can lift the headsets on their forehead and rest their eyes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think that's it.